First of all, I want to thank you for coming tonight. It's a bit of a smaller event than we normally put on, but that's because we're really trying to bring people together in order to learn something tonight that's slightly different. Everybody has been talking about TikTok for the last 6 to 12 months, about this thing you have to get on, you have to know about it, and you have to start spending money on it or using the influencers on it. So that was the first thing that kind of sparked the interest in this event. But what we thought about doing it in a different way, because we're Goat and we think about things a bit differently. So what better than coming out of an event tonight and knowing actually how to create a TikTok, star in your own TikTok, alongside some of our amazing influencers here tonight. First of all, we're going to do about 20 minutes on the panel with these great guys, talking about TikTok itself, how it's grown in the last 12 to 18 months, how they've grown their incredible audiences. After that, you'll be split up into groups of about 10 to 12 people-ish. 10 to 12 people. You'll all be assigned a superstar TikToker, and you will be shown the app, hands-on, exactly all the features, and then you're going to be forced to create the best TikToks to be created today. To incentivize the amazing TikTok creation, we've got a prize per group. We've got cocktails at the top of the gherkin. We've got afternoon tea at an amazing London hotel. We've got a 3-course meal at Shaka Zulu. And also for the best TikTok of the night, regardless of group, we've got AirPods to give away as well, which obviously everybody wants. So,
okay, welcome everyone to the first section of the evening, which is going to be the TikTok panel. So going down the line, introducing our wonderful panel, we have Vicky Banham, who is a creator and also works at Jungle Creations. We have Laura Edwards, or Laura Bubble as she's known, creator, comedian and presenter. We have Molly Marsh, influencer on TikTok extraordinaire. And we have Henry Whittington, who is the marketing manager at Columbia Records. Kicking off the panel and what we're going to talk about today is how are you guys creating content at the moment on TikTok, and how long have you been on the platforms yourselves?
I've been on the platform since 2017, I think, so a little while. I was on it when it was Musical.ly, and the way I've created content has changed hugely in that time, depending on how the platform has grown itself. I create content so my stuff is art. I'm an artist on the platform, so all of my stuff is created on a high-res camera with box lights, and I try and make it high production. Similarly, for Jungle, I'm creating content for all of their social accounts, so I take the content they have and I make it TikTok friendly.
Similar to Vicky, I started 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. Yeah, it's changed a lot. It started off very basic, filming on your phone, lots of like lip syncs or using other people's comedy sound bites. What I noticed is I really started to grow when I started making original comedy sketches, but using a proper camera, a proper microphone, editing it up well. So I think that's how it's going. I'm seeing a lot of more high quality videos on there now.
Yeah, similar. I started in 2017 as well, and I started with like comedy videos with my little sister and putting on like little clips of my YouTube videos. Then they started really well, and then it was like original content that got a lot more views and a lot more likes. So it was like I started doing more fashion-based stuff, and now I'm doing more like comedy and fashion style videos.
And Henry, how long have you Columbia Records been looking at it?
I personally have been on TikTok for about 6 months. I've thus far uploaded 0 videos, so if you end up in my workshop group, something's gone horribly wrong, and I'm really sorry. But I think as a label, it's been in our primary focus probably for the last year. I think the smarter people in the building at Sony have known about it for much longer than that. And in terms of artists, we're encouraging more and more by the day to join up. I think it's the most exciting new platform out there. From a social point of view.
Yeah, and I suppose the big difference with TikTok is that it has music sort of built into it as an app. How are you guys activating around this?
It really varies, and our strategy is changing every day. I think what's really interesting for us is the fact that, a TikTok can only be 15 seconds long, so it's kind of the ultimate hit test. You're looking for tracks that capture people's attention within 15 seconds or they're not going to work. I think whereas before we were trying to use it as a way of launching tracks, I think we've actually now realised it's much more about figuring out what's getting organic pickup and then kind of fueling the fames from there. DJ Regard and Ride It is something that's signed with us. That was a track that actually originated on TikTok before it was even released or a full song. There was a 15-second clip on TikTok. It picked up momentum, and a very smart A&R at Ministry of Sound reached out to the creator, signed him, and they've had a #1 record.
And how are you guys using music in your TikToks, and how do you find that's different to the other platforms that you're creating on?
On the other platforms, I just don't use music, because usually on YouTube you get a copyright ban straight away. So it's a nice perk on TikTok knowing you can use tracks and songs and incorporate that into whatever you're making, whether it's makeup, fashion, or comedy skits. It's very meme heavy at the moment as well, so really, really handy to include music in that. But yeah, it is probably, I'd say, the only app, except Instagram stories, where you can add a little bit of a music clip into that I would add. I would not worry about using a royalty-free track.
I think people respond better to chart music as well when they're watching a video. I used to use royalty-free music on Musical.ly before I realised that you could use music in-app. And I noticed when I started using the music in the library that people just way preferred it. I also prefer it. Like, I think that's the most important thing. If you can watch it and not like wince and want to swipe, then it's obviously quite a good video. But also in terms of just watch time, if people like the song and it's out at the moment and it's trending, that tends to do quite well. But something I have also found in recent times is if there's a song that's trending and a meme that's trending, if you merge the two, you get even better engagement.
And Molly, do you
That's
use...
pretty much the same. Also, I feel like people with new music who like, I have a few friends that have just released like new little songs and like they're wanting to make it a lot bigger. They actually like ask TikTokers at the minute to use their songs, and then that helps them as well massively. Like if you use people's songs and it's a new song, people like that as well.
So one of the other great features of TikTok that's different to any other platform is its ability to edit in-app and really create those filters and those timers. How are you guys taking advantage of that?
So, like I said, I do edit a lot of my content off the platform. But having said that, if you use in-app features, again, you get such praise. Like the TikTok, I don't know what it is. TikTok team just absolutely love when you use their features, right? So if you're using text in-app or if you're using the filters, like you're going to see later, any of those things, they absolutely love it. And they also do loads and loads of challenges around the filters to encourage people to use them. So even if, for example, if I hadn't have seen one, there would be a hashtag challenge, which I'm sure we'll come on to, that would entice you to use it. So I think it's really inclusive.
Yeah. They absolutely love the filters and everything. I don't really use the filters that much because, again, I like to edit off app. And there's no way at the moment of using the filters, bringing that off app and then putting it back in the app and having it recognised you've used one of their features. But I do think the text feature, which is fairly new, is brilliant because you can film something and it's very meme heavy at the moment, like I said. So using that text feature just takes all the hassle out of having to take it off and put it onto a computer or another editing platform.
Yeah, I edit on the app, and I find when I do like little tutorials or little makeup tutorials or hair tutorials, using the text feature on the app as well, that's great. Instead of going on iMovie or something like that and editing, it'll never like say that you've used text, whereas on TikTok, on the app, if you're editing, it'll say you've used the feature, so that helps my little tutorials a lot by using it in the app.
It really promotes your content as well, doesn't it? When you use the text in app, it really notices that you've used that feature and really pushes that to a wider audience.
So what sort of results are you guys kind of seeing from the platform at the moment in terms of your records and your sales? Are you guys seeing this have a direct impact boosting your sales?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, look, there are obvious examples. Old Town Road was very much, again, another Sony track that started very much on TikTok. DJ Regard, Ride It. I mean, even catalogue tracks we're seeing, like Undercover Martin by Two Door Cinema Club has had a slightly bizarre resurgence thanks to that. But I think I think the thing for the challenge and great thing for record labels is all this stuff starts organically, and I think that's what gets us excited about artists. That's why we sign records. Be it a band selling out a gig that's bigger than you expected, or a rapper from Croydon suddenly being listened to on the other side of the world. I think that's what TikTok does. It's a way of bringing music to audiences that weren't there before. And when an audience is there, it's a no-brainer for a record label to get involved and try and take it further.
And I think that transfers over to other creators as well in terms of being able to get more engagement and more reach to smaller people rather than Instagram or YouTube. It's much more easy to build your following on TikTok at the moment. Would you guys agree with that, or do you think it's...
100%. Yeah, 100%. Even if you're like, I don't know, a 10-year-old kid that just wants to join in, or you're a commercial publisher that wants to get on board. Like, it is the best platform to grow at the moment, just because I think people understand it a lot quicker. And if you get people that understand it doing it, obviously you go 10 times faster. But at Jungle, we've noticed a growth of 100K in about 2 weeks on one of our pages. So again, starting from scratch, like, it's been 2 years since I've started from scratch. So to know that it's still possible to build it in that way is really special. And I think it's got something there that a lot of people underestimate.
What do you think is stopping people from getting on board in terms of working with you guys as a publisher, working with you guys as influencer, or working with you guys with music? What's stopping people from really activating on TikTok?
Yeah, I think it's fairly new. So I think with any app, I remember when Instagram came out and everyone sort of was a bit sort of unsure of that for quite a while, especially Instagram stories, and now we all use them. So I think it's going to take some time. And I also think they're still working on big features like redirect links and switching over to other platforms and other websites, which they haven't quite got going on at the moment. And I think that definitely scares brands off because they want a click-through link often to, you know, sell products and stuff, which at the moment I can think of every other app has. So I think they're getting on board with that. I mean, that's mainly what we give them as feedback constantly. We want a click-through link. So little features like that, and I think when they come, you know, into play, then I think we'll start to see it become the new app which brands are really working with and, you know, people are signing up to.
I think as well, when people say TikTok to me, like my friends, they just think it's lip syncing to a song, like that's it. And like I'm like, I don't just lip sync to a song. Like there's stuff behind it, and there's a lot more you can do with it as well. So like sometimes like if a fashion brand's like, oh, would you wear this if you put this onto it and tag this? It's like it's not just me singing to a song, if that makes sense. And I think people thought Musical.ly was that, and TikTok's just that, but it's not.
I think that was actually a really good point. I think people alienate TikTok so much because Musical.ly, the name Musical.ly was quite misleading. Everyone was like, oh, it's music. Why are you on it? You paint your face. And because everyone got so comfortable with Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter, there was almost, in a lot of people's head, no room for a new platform. Vine had died, Periscope died, all these other account or platforms that kind of got there died. So the fact that people saw this account or platform now growing and actually getting somewhere, everyone was like, oh, not really sure how I feel about this. I'm very comfortable with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and now there's this whole realm of a new demographic that people can't reach anywhere else. But because it was Musical.ly, everyone just associates it with music, whereas you've got football freestylers, you've got magicians, you've got jugglers, you've got singers, comedians, makeup artists, you've got everything. So I think because the rebrand happened, that was the whole point of bringing new people on. And ever since the rebrand to TikTok, there's been a lot more diversity because loads of people have noticed that it's not all about music.
Have you found it's been quite difficult to convince artists or brands personally to get involved, say, for example, taking them from YouTube, Laura, or taking them from regular types of launches to trying this new format? How are you convincing people, or how are you proving to people that this is the right way to go?
I think for starters, it's not for everyone. I think it's certainly in terms of tracks, it's instant gratification. It's tracks that, you know, are an earworm within 10, 15 seconds. If you're a singer-songwriter writing ballads, I don't know if it's going to work. But I think more and more artists are using, you know, viewing the potential. And actually, ironically, I say that about ballads. I think, you know, the person who's come on board recently, who I think is doing a lot for the platform, is Lewis Capaldi. I'm sure he's upset some TikTokers with his... I'm sure he's upset some people with his mission to become the king of TikTok. But I think, you know, his music isn't suited to it, but his personality is. And I think that's what we're trying to show our artists at the moment. It's not just something you break an individual track on. It's something you can use to build an artist proposition and, you know, connect with your fans on a level that not other platforms allow, like you've already said.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't followed Lewis Capaldi on TikTok, you really need to.
Yeah, you really need to.
He's got some great content coming out. Why are brands creating content on it? Why are they creating channels? Why are they working with you guys if they're not getting click-throughs or traffic?
I'm seeing more engagement on TikTok than I've ever had on my YouTube channel or my Instagram or anything. And it seems to be, I mean, I don't know if you guys agree, but it seems to just be a really sort of engaged app that when you put stuff up, people use your sound bites and they get involved and they use your hashtag. And I'm seeing people do challenges and the next day they've got however many responses. It seems to just be one of those apps that people want to get involved with, whatever you do, which I think is the way YouTube's now designed, is you've got that recommended feed and you go on and you don't watch all your videos in your subscription box. You're not forced to, whereas on TikTok, it's chronological. You've got your feed. So the way the app is designed is to get, your viewers' eyes onto your videos when they're uploaded, which other apps at the moment are not doing.
You're going off that challenges things and the hashtag challenges, and people obviously see TikTok and they see people creating dances and it trending and things like that. And then you also see some brands creating content like that and it just going nowhere. What are the main reasons that you're seeing this content not work versus actually going really, really well?
I think the beauty with TikTok is the authenticity of the content that you can create. Creators are on there because they want to be, not because they're paid to be. So the content they're creating is content that they love. Brands are coming on, which is brilliant, and obviously, like, at Jungle, we're creating stuff now, and the reason we're creating content is to get ahead of the game. It will become the next big platform that everyone wants to be on, and I can definitely see it going that way in the last 6 months. Oh my God, it's changed so much. So we're on it to create a presence so that when people do turn around and realise that it's correct and this is what's going to be happening next, we're already one step ahead. But I think the difficulty is people try and create TikTok-friendly content and they force it, and it does not work. You have to just be like true to your brand, and whether that's a brand as a person, like as a comedian or a singer, or a brand as an actual company, it really makes such difference to what your audience is seeing.
I think people underestimate the app as well, actually. I know a lot of people who've started and aren't growing, and that's because they're taking part in the challenges and the trends and not doing anything original. And once the first 5 videos have gone up of that challenge or trend and blown up, you can't just do the same thing. You have to do an original way around it. And you see a lot of special effects artists and magicians and people doing really cool, unique ways, around these challenges. And I think people think, oh, other people have grown, let's just bung up a bunch of challenges and get disappointed why they're not. And there is a lot of thinking out the box, and originality is quite key to taking part in hashtags.
Thinking about challenges and making something new. So instead of just, showing the product or showing something for the brand, making something more interesting from it. So how many layers? Making a challenge out of it yourself, so someone else can join in as well, instead of just going, this is this product and I'm going to promote this. Making a challenge out of it, and then TikTok join onto it, more people join onto it, and then it makes it a wider audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So being strict ahead of the competition and going back to the sort of fear thing of people are scared to get on board, but they should, because this is where we're creating and establishing ourselves for the future. What's your one piece of advice for brands to get on board, and what should they start with?
That's something that we've done panels together before, and we get asked that question all the time, and that is the thing we say, is just download it and do it. The first video is always the hardest one, but I think getting involved, taking time to understand the platform, it's different, but it's not different at the same time. Like, it's still a platform, there's still users, you still post, you're still generating engagement, you're still doing everything that a platform does. You're just doing it on a different platform, and you're just doing it in a way that the platform will boost.
I think authenticity is quite key as well. So, if you're a brand working with a creator, use someone who is enthusiastic about the product, not someone who's like, yeah, how much money? Okay, cool. Because that comes across in the videos. So if you've got someone who genuinely really loves the idea or the product or the website, it's going to show, whether you're making a sketch or a music video or anything. I think authenticity on the app really does, because you've got 15 seconds basically to show that or not. So it's quite key to making videos.
If you're having fun and you're visibly enjoying yourself and you've put in the effort and it's visible, your audience will love it.
Yeah, for me, it's the most fun app I've got. Like, I could post the same thing on Instagram and it just doesn't seem the same. Like, if you post it on TikTok and you've got the right sound and you've got the right... It's just fun.
I think, my message to artists and brands alike would be, just go where your audience is. I don't think it's for everyone. I don't think investment banks should necessarily be setting up TikTok accounts. But I also think, creativity is a beautiful thing, and, it can take you places you didn't imagine. I'm sure the person who invented Mentos didn't imagine that, he would get more name recognition from dropping mints in Coke than curing people's smelly breath. But, you know, if you've got the right approach, anything can happen.
A great point to end on.